The way that it changed for me was it made it like I could see a different future for myself. It didn't just change my financial trajectory, it changed everything.
Welcome to the You and You podcast, or Yay, with me, Sanjiv Sangha. Each episode we explore a single word and how it shaped my life and hopefully offer you some ideas and tools and inspiration along the way. Sometimes I'm joined by a very special guest to dive even deeper into the subject matter. Today's word is money. We're exploring it across 3 special episodes with my guest, Laura Ann Moore. Laura is a financial wellbeing speaker, content creator, and qualified financial coach, and the host of Mind, Money and Soul podcast. Her mission is to show people a different way of managing and feeling about money. She inspires growth-minded women to view money as a tool for freedom so that they can live a lifestyle they truly desire. Taking a holistic approach, Laura helps women step into abundance, finding financial ease, and build real wealth. In today's episode, we're going to look at the relationship between money and the mind. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
We're both here with a bit of a sore
we've both
throat,
got a little bit.
aren't
I've got my lemon and ginger tea.
I'm at the end of mine, but
I think I'm at the start, and I'm praying. I think it's going to pass. I can feel it.
I hope so. When we were talking about these episodes, you said that you like to talk about money in the sense of mind, money and soul, which is quite nice. It's like mind, body and soul, right? We talked about how we would split these sessions up, and today we would cover the mind element of it. Mm-hmm. Should we dive right in?
Let's dive in.
Okay. Could you start by sharing your personal story and what brought you to this work around money and how it changed your life?
Yes. So classic case of falling into it. I came from a family that didn't have a lot of money. You know, we weren't very financially well off. I didn't get a financial education in the home.
Nor did I. Really, yeah.
Which I think is super common.
Yeah.
And I think that with money, it was just a real contention point in our family. It was a tough time. So I always wanted to be an actress, and I was like, right, don't want to go to university. I'm going to go to drama school. And drama school is £15,000 per year just for tuition. You know, it's expensive.
Yes.
So at 18, 19, I was like, right, I'm going to find a way to put myself through drama school.
Yeah.
So I got a full-time job. And then by the time I was 22, I'd saved £15,000, ready to go to drama school. But I ended up getting a very last-minute opportunity to go travelling instead. Ooh, which is amazing. Yeah. It's very cool. And I made the choice to drop drama school, go travelling, and I went to Australia, Bali, New Zealand, Cambodia, so cool, so many places.
That's amazing.
It was really cool. Spent all of the money.
Yeah.
No regrets. And
you shouldn't about that.
Yeah.
That is an amazing growth.
Yeah, and it gave me it just gave me so much. It just gave me so much. And when I came home, I was like, what do I want to do? I'm not in the acting world anymore. I've kind of, whilst I was away, found myself, realised I didn't really want to be in the world of acting, and was just like, what do I do? Yeah. And just knew that I wanted to help people. So I set up a blog and an Instagram, and I started talking about all the different topics. I spoke about money, but I spoke about yoga and travel and beauty and food. But I just always, in my spare time, in between my job, always found myself writing about money. Yeah. And it just happened really naturally that I was sharing. And it was around, this is maybe 5-6 years ago when people weren't really talking about it online. So it's quite new.
Yeah, because there's always a lot of shame attached with money, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of relationships fall apart because of money and not being able to have the conversations and ownership around it.
Yeah, and I think that money is one of the number one reasons for divorce in the UK. And
well, I can see that. I've seen lots of adult relationships. When I go on a date now, if somebody doesn't offer to pay, I won't go on a second date with them because it shows me what they are like. Yeah. But I won't let them pay. Yeah. But it's just the offer.
The offering, to see.
And I think that's it just shows the small, it's almost a red flag.
Yeah.
That's one of the first red flags for me.
For you, yeah. I think the thing about money is, especially in the UK, there's so much shame. There is so much, it's a taboo topic to talk about. And it keeps people really like quiet. And I think that talking about it, this was like I say back in like 2018, 2019, I just found myself talking about it really naturally. And because ever since a young age, I've always loved reading like self-help, psychology books. Like at school, I took psychology and sociology. Like I just love the way the brain works, the way people work. And I kind of just merged the two together in my content. And that's where the sort of money mindset element came in, not just the like, hey, this is how you invest, or this, which I love to talk about. I love the practical stuff. But the mindset stuff to me is like, the extra, the magic on top that makes the big difference.
I think it's actually the magic underneath.
Yes.
It's actually the foundations and you have to go into it.
Yeah.
Because how you do the fluffy stuff on top, yes, it will get you the results, but it's about your attitude towards money in the first instance. And I always find that men might be a bit more willing to talk about it openly and they share like little tips and things like that, whereas women, it's a slightly different conversation. But I think we come to that at a slightly different point, don't we?
Yes, good topic.
You talk about your 3 principles. Could you walk us through them and how they shape the way you think about money?
Yeah, of course. So and just going on from the question before about like how it's changed my life, like because I was in a it just came to my mind before you said that. But like doing this kind of work when you're raised in a family where they're not great with money, you haven't learnt loads about money.
It's not talked about.
It's not talked about. The way that it changed for me was it made it so like I could see a different future for myself.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it just changed, like it didn't just change my financial trajectory, it changed everything.
Yeah.
So the 3 principles that I kind of came up with, which is the name of the podcast, so mind, money, soul. Mind for me is like understanding the way that your brain, your thoughts, your feelings, like the way they all link together in relation to your behaviors, your actions, and then what creates your life. So really understanding your mindset and your attitude towards things. Money is the more like practical stuff. So like the personal finance skills that you do need to know.
The actionable things.
The actionable stuff, the budgeting, the saving, the investing, the taxes, all the different stuff like that. The people that's, you're like,
the mundane.
Boring. Yeah.
The mundane.
And then soul for me is like, what does money mean to you in a greater sense? Like, what can money do for you? Like, everything to do with like abundance, the more spiritual side of money. So it's kind of like emotional, practical, and then like spiritual. That's how I like to break it down.
That's quite a nice way, kind of a holistic approach, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it helps people understand that money isn't just numbers. It's not just maths. It's not just spreadsheets. It's not just...
It's energy.
It's energy, 100%.
And it's transactional, but it's energy around it, and it's what you bring to that.
Yeah, and I do think as well with the 3 different things is like they all work together in harmony. Like, you could have the practical stuff, you could have the budget, you could have the pension, you could have the savings account. But if you don't understand your emotional attitudes towards money, or I guess in a sense, the way that what you want money to do for you in your life, the practical stuff, like it helps, but it's going to feel empty, or you might not stick to plans, or, all the other bits are what underpin you actually reaching your version of financial success.
What does stepping into abundance mean for you? And how can someone begin to process it in their everyday life?
So when it comes to stepping into abundance, I think for me, it basically just means to really trust and believe that there is enough resources, clients, opportunities, money, everything to go around for everyone to live a nice life, to have what they want. And that's probably actually one thing that I've noticed when I've interviewed people that are like very financially successful. Their abundance mindset is just like spot on. Like they just don't look at other people's wins as their losses. They don't think that someone else's gain is,
There's no jealousy or greed there, is there? They're just kind of going, I want them to be successful.
Yeah, and if they have a thought or an idea about something that they want for their lives, they're like, oh, I know that I can have it. Even if I don't see it or have it right now, I know that I can. I know that I can create it. I know that I can call it in, even if it feels, fluffy or not so tangible. You know, they're like, if somebody else can have it, then I can have it.
And I think that's a really nice, generous way of spirit in
100%.
that, because there's generosity there within themselves, but it's also not a fear thing. Whereas as we was talking before, there's a lot of fear that is being pushed onto us for many, many years now, and blame. Whereas that mindset is kind of going, yeah, I'm okay, you're okay, we're all okay.
Yeah, and I think like in the news and in the media, you know, there's such big disparity between people at the top and people at the bottom.
And actually what they're using their power for and influence, it's absolutely terrible.
Awful, it's disgusting. And, you know, the sort of hoarding of wealth, like I'm sure a lot of people listening to this podcast, people that I talk to would say that they don't believe in people being billionaires. You know, they think that being a billionaire is like, you don't need that much money, and unless you're
what they're going to do with it.
Exactly, and unless you're doing loads of good, which there are people out there with a lot of money doing good, but they're not the ones that you get to see in the news all the time. The ones that we see in the news all the time are the ones that are doing bad, or, you know,
creating harm and instilling fear in people.
Yeah, exactly.
To make themselves feel better about themselves.
Yeah, because it's so much about power and influence. And I think what happens is that then rolls over into the conversation about money, and it makes people sometimes makes them get that sort of scarcity like mindset. But I think that
I like that, scarcity. Rather than scarcity.
And people always pull me up on that. I always say it wrong. Scarcity.
No, but scarcity, because they are creating scars.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like the city of your mind.
Yeah.
Like the damage that it creates, the fear, and then it kind of like feeds into things. Because I feel fear a lot around lots of different things, but then I have to like pull myself in, reel myself in, and say, well, actually, fear isn't appropriate here.
Yeah.
And then when when I feel angry, I'm like, well, actually, is anger good? What am I doing with it? Am I just ranting?
Yes.
Or am I going to use it to actively help?
Yeah, well, and exactly. And I think anger and rage and that kind of energy and emotion is what we need for activism and to make change.
I feel very angry with what's happening in the world. I'm not even going to deny it, but I'm like kind of going, well, actually, that's not how I want to present.
Yes.
I want to go and help people. And I understand that actually what people are seeing and what they're believing isn't necessarily the truth. So all you can do is try and share some joy and positivity out there.
Yeah, and I think there's a big difference between using your anger or your rage to do good in the world. Like, I'm angry, therefore I'm going to go protest. I'm angry, therefore I'm going to set up a foundation that versus I'm just angry and raging in my own home, and I'm so angry I'm not making money, and then I'm more angry at the world because I don't have money, and it becomes kind of that cycle.
And it feeds everything, every aspect, anger, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think if you can use those emotions in a positive way, it's perfect, because it can transmute into, well, the irony is you can actually use that kind of anger and rage to transmute it into creating something that actually brings you financial success and other people.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? And other people. What are you doing to help others when you're helping yourself as well?
Totally.
So like, what would be a small step that somebody can do to try and change their mindset around abundance?
So one thing that I say is, like, if you feel limited or a lack with money, and you've noticed that maybe like you use phrases or words or you have attitudes which are like less than, like, I don't have enough, I'm never going to have enough, or whatever that version is for you, look at areas in your life not related to money. Maybe it's friendships, maybe it's love, maybe it's family, maybe it's, food. I don't know, maybe it's food.
Exercise,
yeah, exactly. Like different areas where you feel abundant, where you feel like there's ease and flow. So for example, for me, I've never struggled making friends my whole life. Like, I've always had loads of friends. I've always been that person who's got lots of different best friends, part of lots of different groups.
Yeah.
I make friends super easy. And it's not even something I think about. When I sit and think consciously, I'm like, oh yeah, but there's just ease there.
Yeah.
So like, how do I talk to myself about that area of my life? How do I approach it? What's the feeling? What's the energy, right? How can I now apply that to the area of money. So
that's really good.
So find the area of your life that you feel abundant in.
Yeah.
Analyze and just reflect on what makes that such an easy area of my life. Like what is it? Is it my attitudes? Is it my beliefs? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I like that. I can see the joy coming in you when you're saying that. What is it that's making that feel so good and vibrant within yourself? Yeah.
And then if you can have it in that area, it's no different to having that area of money. Like,
you can expand it.
Exactly. And you can kind of use the similar tools, similar attitudes. Like, I have a friend, my area of love and like partners is
we won't go there.
We won't go there. Yeah. We won't go there. But it's not been the easiest like area in my life.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's the complete opposite. That girl, she has boyfriends. She loves love. She's always in love. She's always having a good time. And even when she then breaks up with a partner, she's got a new one. But not in I know that probably people probably might listen to that and be like, oh, she needs to be alone. But she loves it. She loves love. She finds it so easy.
Yeah.
And when we talk about that area of her life, the way that she approaches it is like, it is a given that she will fall in love. It is a given that people fancy her. It's so natural for her. It feels easy.
Exudes off her.
Exactly. Why can't we apply that same energy towards money? That trust of like, oh, of course money's going to come. Oh, of course I'm doing the right thing. That flow, that excitement, that whatever it is for you.
I think that excitement, and like, say if you wanted to bring in that abundance, then it's like, well, what do you enjoy doing? Mm-hmm. Because even if you enjoy doing something that doesn't necessarily earn money at the moment, it doesn't yet, it might bring it in the future. It's not might, but it will, because you're in the flow with what you're doing.
Yeah. I read this thing the other day that said the most spiritual thing you can do sometimes is have fun. And I think in life, people can get too serious.
I don't think it helps with social media and the media in general, because it's quite hard and it's always quite negative. But I do believe in joy, the vibration of joy. I'm starting to kind of go, I need to get into this. I'm thinking I need to get into this more and embrace it. But, and it's like, this is the time.
Yeah. And I think the thing about having fun and joy and all of that is like the energy you feel when you're in that state is like just the best, right? Like when you're laughing, or when, like, for me, when I'm laughing with my friends or when I'm dancing.
Yes.
I'm so present. Everything is just flowing. Like, it feels good. You can take that energy into other smaller areas of your life, and you can find joy in making money, in creating to bring, like, I think especially in the sort of more spiritual creative world, there's this massive disconnect between money and creating art, the whole kind of like starving artist.
Oh yeah, no, that's so boring now.
So boring.
It's so like, no, I'm so saintly because I'm,
Yeah, and it's like that, and that's actually blocking you.
Yeah.
Because it's an attitude, and it's not to say that your
art...
But
it's not their attitude. It's something that's come down generations and generations. Mm-hmm.
It's been passed down. Yeah. For sure.
Not necessarily just within their own family system, but just the concept around art.
100%. Yes.
Oh yeah, they made money once they died.
yeah. Oh bless them. Yeah. But so I think it's joy is very important.
I think so. Women are being constantly sold to, whether that's like beauty, lifestyle, clothes, different types of products, basically. Mm-hmm. How does this shape our relationship with money and self-worth?
So I think as women in nowadays society, we are constantly being told that we have something that we need to fix.
Yes.
And that we are not whole as we already are, and that we have to layer things on top of ourselves to become the version that is finally accepted, whole, worthy of love, deserving of money. But it's like, no, as I believe that as our natural state, as our whoever we all are, we are worthy of all of those things, but society makes us feel like we're not. And what that can cause is a need to spend money on fixing ourselves.
Yeah.
Spending money on, whether that is external, like aesthetics, beauty treatments, beauty products. And by the way...
surgery as well.
Surgery, which is
clothes,
a huge
hair,
one.
nails.
Like how you present yourself.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a bit paradoxical because, as we know, especially in things like the corporate world, there are loads of studies that show if, pretty privilege, if you have your makeup done and your hair done, you're more likely to get a job or do well in an interview or be listened to. So it's this paradoxical with beauty thing where you're like, But there is a positive side to me working on myself, but it's the energy through which you come at it. Yeah. If the intention is, I'm not good enough, I need to do these things, and therefore you're spending money, that I think is more dangerous than I'm already whole and deserving and all of that. But I do it because I know it gives me an advantage, or I do it because it makes me feel nice. Do you know what I mean? There's a different intention.
It's really funny because I have allergies. And sometimes, depending on how tired I am, they can come up a bit more. I've never worn makeup every day. I can't. I rub my eyes, I touch my face all the time. So I do look quite scruffy at times. But then I do know when I need to look good and sharp.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference with how people approach you, even when you go down the local shop. I haven't been ID'd for a while, which is a big
Love that.
But I used to be ID'd up until I was about 40. I was like, yeah, go for it. But I find like we are just, it's constantly like, you know, you might be on Instagram and then you're just getting all these products and then you read the review about that product later and you're like, no, I don't want that.
Exactly. And I think like, you know, we're just constantly being sold to. You go on social media, ads. Your phone's listening to you, ads. You walk down the street, you know, and it's like when I learned about the ads that were made back in the 60s, I can't remember, about women's razors.
Yeah.
Like,
tell the story.
Well, it's a quick story, but essentially, like, women never really used to shave.
Yeah.
And then they, you know, big corporates realised that they could get money off of women by convincing them that they need to be hairless and, you know, streamline. So they created a product. They essentially created a problem to sell the solution so that they could make money.
Oh, there's so many instances of that.
Exactly. But there's like an ad and I can really see it. It's like this woman and it, you know, the caption is like, you know, about being hairless and like how it makes you a better woman. And that energy is just carried on for decades. Yeah. And what I find really frustrating is in a world with men and women where money is, you know, we've already got the gender pay gap, the gender pension gap, the gender investment gap, like all the things where there's the gaps. And then on top of that, women are being sold to with all these extra things, like the beauty
really
industry.
Expensive.
The beauty industry is like billions of pounds.
Gazillions.
Yeah, literally. And yet we get told that we're the ones that are frivolous spenders. We get told that we're the ones that spend money on silly things. And yet it's like, we're in a system that's been created to take our money.
Yeah, I know people who've gone like, oh, you know what, but I love it when they've got a nice set of nails on them and stuff like that, you know. And it's just like, well, you just chewed half of yours to death, mate.
I think as well, like there was this study done by this lady, the lady that created Starling Bank, Anne Bowden. She did a study where she looked at 7,000 articles aimed at men and women. And the ones that were aimed at men would say things like invest, earn money, build wealth, you know, look at these investment platforms. But the ones aimed at women were obviously not like that. It was all about saving and cutting the pennies and cutting back the pounds and
Yeah.
So like the language is already different.
Yeah.
And then
there's strength in one and weakness in the other, isn't there?
Yeah, and one's stifling and one's very like abundant, you know.
Yes, one is grow and one is like
restrict.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we're constantly being told to cut back and not spend, and yet at the same time, all of these adverts and products it's like you're not good enough. Fix yourself. So it's like all these mixed messages that it makes so much sense why it can be so confusing.
But it's like it's to women. It's from when they're young girls. Mm-hmm. It's constant.
Starts from when you come out the womb.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? And then you hit the teenage years and then there's more, and it's just I find it really scary now when you see younger girls, because I had a bit of freedom.
Yeah.
This is to go out and play on the street and stuff, and I might have worn a bit of eyeliner, but now it's just full on stuff, full face, nails, and you're kind of going, gosh, just be, you know?
Yeah, and I think for me, a form of financial self-care is radical self-acceptance. Yeah. Being able to accept yourself as you are in a world that profits off of you having problems and wanting to spend money on it is the most powerful thing you can do. Yeah. And like the earlier that we can teach young girls that, the better.
Yeah, that's a massive cultural shift that is going up against that's going up against really big companies and mindsets, and actually a lot of these billionaires.
100%.
Because that's where it's almost like abusive. I know that they try and protect younger people from certain types of adverts and things.
Yeah, they say.
Yeah, but it just makes me feel very sad, and I think it's something that can be given by the parents as like, well, you've got to accept yourself in how you are. And I did have a bit of that from my father because he was around a bit more when I was growing up, which wasn't because of through choice, because I was always going against the grain, but I'm really grateful for that now.
Yeah, and I think it's important to like acknowledge those things, and like it being someone like that, being able to pass that over to friends, children's, like having a ripple effect of like, what have you learned, what can you see, and what can you pass on to help people think differently, so that they don't feel like they have to be part of the crowd, so that they don't, and that's how you create a movement, right? That's where the shift comes, but it takes time.
I was always getting called out for being the odd one out at school.
Were you?
Oh God, yeah. Like everything, I got teased like you will not believe by everyone. It was nuts.
School's intense, isn't it?
It is. You class it as bullying, I suppose, but I always knew I was going to get out, so I was just like, it's fine, because I was fortunate enough to have a big family that were doing very well in themselves, in their own roles in the world. So I could see what was coming for me in that sense. But it doesn't make it any easier.
Not at the time. I totally get you. No.
Yeah, but like, I suppose, I still had a core set of friends, so I was all right, but I didn't have social media to contend with.
Oh, social media.
Yes. It's like, I was talking about it with another lady, and it was a bit like, well, actually, that there are some really good elements of it where, where we can share like we are now. And then you've got the other bits where it's kind of a bit hate on hate.
Yeah.
And you kind of, it's hard. It's a challenge. But I suppose if you put the right stuff out there, hopefully more people will start doing positive things.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of gendered language towards money, and you've kind of touched on that already. Like, a woman is being told to save, and a man's told to invest. How do you think this affects a woman's confidence around her finances?
Massively. I think that what can happen is this cycle of you grow up being told that you're not whole as you are and you need to fix all of these problems. You're already making less money generally. Obviously, we're, averaging out, but you're making less money. And then with the disposable income you do have, you're having to decide between like, well, do I save it? Do I invest it? Well, I don't feel confident investing because investing doesn't look like it's for me. It looks like it's for old white men, you know, or just men in general, but, a certain type of people. Or I can spend it, which is what we get taught to do, on all of these extra things.
Yeah, I need that handbag that everybody's got.
Exactly. I need to fit in, keeping up with the Joneses. And I think that the financial confidence comes down to, obviously knowledge, and education, but then also application and people that look like you in the space. Yeah. I think that's why, as a woman, I love talking about investing online, because it's something that's really important for other women to see other women doing it.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal thing. And I've been really wanting to talk about finances on this podcast because I think that they're key to the success, independence of a woman, whether or a younger woman, for her to be able to thrive, whether that gives her choices, her opportunities, and also the ability to go, no, this is not right for me, and I can look after myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think everybody has that ability, and I want them to feel safe in the knowledge that they can look after themselves, because some people won't be willing to walk away from quite bad situations because they think that they can't.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everybody has a choice, and you can do the small things in the right way. So I've never had very good financial acumen. And it's not because I buy fancy bags or I buy a lot of food.
I love food.
I love food. And then I live in a very expensive city, which does take its toll as well. But, I could have done better. But then I did see money being used in positive ways.
That's good.
Like really positive ways in the family setting. My parents didn't have very much either, but they help support the community. They've got they did really good things with it. And I can only hope to even be a touch on that. It'd be amazing if I was. So I really respect that. But it doesn't mean that I had the literacy.
Yeah, it didn't.
To aid me, because I went through university, accumulated a lot of debt, nowhere near what some people would now. But back then it was quite a lot. And then it took me quite a long time, like over a decade, nearly 2, to pay it off. Mm-hmm. And then you're kind of going, well, actually, that kind of scarcity that was there, constantly being in debt, fueled this kind of debt mentality rather than a growth mentality and the abundance thing. So for me, it's very important to bring women and young women into the conversation in how they can be productive, and that, yes, it is for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also the independence and the freedom that financial stability can give you. Yeah. Like, if you are good with your money, if you have a good relationship with your money, if you can save a bit, invest a bit, the kind of freedom that it gives you to make choices that are right for you, that don't mean that you're stuck in toxic situations, toxic jobs, toxic relationships, is so powerful. And that's something that, like, as an independent woman, not much else can give you. Like, money is the thing that does allow you to go.
Yeah, I didn't work for 2 years.
Did you not?
So it was a real struggle. It was a real struggle because it was very challenging to keep everything going.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to have the support of my family, which obviously I'm paying back. But it doesn't mean that it was an easy period. It's very humbling. It's really, really humbling when you've been fiercely independent. You're thinking, like, how can this happen? And it's such a fine line. So I want to give people strength in their financial acumen. And I'm not going to be the person that will ever do that. I'm not going to sit here and start learning all about the key financial the key financial systems in the world and the approaches. I'll have a very general idea, but that's why I'm bringing you in. If somebody listening today is feeling stuck in the scarcity mindset, what's one mental shift they could make today to start seeing money differently?
I believe that education around how your brain works with scarcity, abundance, can be enough to make you reframe your lack mindset.
Yeah.
So there's not this big crazy thing that you have to do. You don't have to spend loads of money on an abundance coach. It doesn't, those things can be great, but
there's lots of coaches out there for lots of different things.
100%. But I do believe that just understanding, the difference between like having a growth and a fixed mindset can be really useful for reframing your attitude towards money. And also making a choice to look for little bits of abundance in different areas of your life. It's so easy to get caught up on focusing on the things that you think that aren't working for you.
Yes, it is. I've done that completely, 100%.
Yeah, and then you end up missing out on some of the really good little things that are going on.
Yeah, because the positives, those little wins that you get in the day, the synchronicities, the more you celebrate those, the more all of a sudden you see happening.
Yes, which is both a spiritual and also a scientific thing. Like, I tell people to practice gratitude because when you focus on the good, there's more good to focus on. That's neurologically true. Like, you have something in your brain which will, when you focus on something, your brain is like, oh, we're focusing on this, right? Let's find more of that. So therefore it opens up your mind to spot opportunities, but that could be opening up your mind to spot an opportunity to make more money, right? Yeah. By living in a limited mindset, your brain is looking at all the ways that you're limited. So essentially, and it feels a little bit counterintuitive, right? Because if there is a part of you that really believes that, then of course it's harder to then go, oh, well, let's think about this differently. But something has to shift. If you clearly, up until now, I say to people, like, having a limited mindset and a scarcity mindset hasn't been working up until now because you're still feeling those heavy emotions. So what would it look like to choose to let go of and let fall away some of those mindsets and beliefs you have around not having enough? And what does it look like if you focus on the places where you do have enough, where you are abundant, where you are even like gratitude for paying your bills? People get so caught up, oh, I hate having to pay the tax man, hate having to, oh God, I've got...
Yeah, but paying the tax man, you're helping other people.
Exactly.
You're helping society. I had somebody who, came from abroad and they were working abroad and they were like, I've always got a £5 in my wallet for, a beggar on the street. And then I was thinking, well, you're not paying much tax here and you're trying to make me feel bad when I'm actually paying a lot of tax to help everybody.
Yeah. And I think being able to reframe and look at your own, like, where is it that I'm complaining? Like, what is it that I'm focusing on seeing as a bad thing, and how can I reframe it to be more positive?
Yeah, definitely. I think positivity always wins.
Yeah. And I think being able to acknowledge that, because I'm not a fan of toxic positivity. Like, yes, it's important to be positive, but not to the extent where you're fooling yourself.
Oh, no, I don't like the fake.
Yeah.
I don't like the fake positivity. That's just like, you can tell it's fake and you're just like, okay, you're boring me now. I don't find many people like that. Maybe that's just because I've got to the point where everyone's a bit more real.
Yeah.
But that I've definitely been in a phase of my life where everyone was like, ah, and you're like, no, it's not.
Sorry.
Let's get down and roll in the mud a bit and see what's really there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there doesn't even need to be thought involved. Sometimes it's actually about having a quiet mind and there being no thoughts.
Yeah.
And being, sitting with it, sitting in the silence, sitting in a quiet mind, like seeing what comes through. Like, that's where a lot of the power happens, I think.
I think, sitting with it, reflection. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I talk about that a lot in some of my other podcasts as well. So I'd like to thank you for coming on this episode. Okay. I'm really looking forward to our next 2 episodes. Thank you all for listening to the You and You podcast with me, Sanjiv Sangha, and Laura and more. And also, why don't you take a listen to Money, Mind and Soul if you like it? Thank you so much. Bye.